This is a King James Moment, brought to you by Lighthouse Baptist Church in Grand Prairie, Texas. In Matthew chapter number 10, beginning in verse number 27, Jesus, speaking to his disciples, says, "What I tell you in darkness, that speak ye in light, and what ye hear in the ear, that preach ye upon the housetops. And fear not them which kill the body, but are not able to kill the soul, but rather fear him which is able to destroy both soul and body in hell." Now, apparently, even though it came from Jesus, that kind of preaching is not appreciated by the New Age Bible version folks. In fact, I believe they kind of resent that. Let's talk about the word hell. In the King James Bible, in the Old Testament, hell is the word hell is present 31 times, and in the New Testament 23 times, for a total of 54 throughout the Bible. In the NIV, for example, in the Old Testament has 0 times. The word hell never appears in the Old Testament in the NIV, and only 14 times in the New Testament. It's very interesting. The King James Bible uses the word hell nearly 4 times as many times as the NIV. In the New Testament, the NIV uses Hades several times instead of hell. Now, obviously, Hades doesn't have the same fearful connotation as hell. The NIV eliminates the word hell entirely from the Old Testament, preferring instead to use other words like death or depths or grave. Now, we're well aware that the Hebrew word Sheol can be translated as hell or grave in different contexts, and it is translated both ways in the King James Bible. And we also know that hell can be said to be a grave in a figurative sense, like it is in Psalm 49 and 89. That's obvious. But what seems strange is that the NIV translators just happen to translate Sheol as something besides hell, not most of the time or some of the time, but every single time in the Old Testament. I believe it shows a bias and perhaps even an agenda, whether a satanic agenda or just a private agenda that the translators have, to erase the notion of hell out of people's minds. Satan doesn't want people to know about hell or to think about hell because they might get saved. And certainly Satan doesn't want Christians to think about hell, or they might be moved to go and preach about it to the lost. You know, 100 years ago, when the King James Bible was still the most widely read version, if you will, I believe it's still the only Bible there is, there was a lot more hellfire and brimstone preaching, as they call it. And people were more receptive to the gospel. Fewer and fewer people are being saved today, perhaps because they rarely hear about what they need to be saved from. That's hell. Many Christians today actually look down their nose at great preachers of the past, like, let's say, Billy Sunday, who never hesitated to warn people about hell. I heard someone say one time, "You keep hell real, you'll inspire some zeal." Friend, hell is a very real place. And it's a very real place that people need to be saved from. And we know that if they're going to be saved, somebody has to be preaching hell. Hell needs to be in our Bible. We need just to be preaching the Bible. That's just one more reason I'm sticking with my King James Bible. And once again, this has been a King James Moment from Lighthouse Baptist Church.